Sleep on it. You've probably heard that advice or given it to people yourself in your life, but have you ever asked why people say that? I have. I had the great privilege of learning about dreams, their value, and their meanings from a man named Reverend Jeremy Taylor. He was the author of 4 books on dreams, including his classic guide to understanding our dreams, Where People Fly and Water Runs Uphill. He was also a Unitarian Universalist minister. I attended, I'm thinking, at least 18 of Jeremy's workshops over a 30-year period. I was certified as a dream worker through his institute in the late 1990s. You may know that we all dream multiple times every night. We may not remember or think too much about them. However, some people do. Here are a few of them. As a teenager, Albert Einstein dreamt that he was sledding down a mountainside so fast that he approached the speed of light, causing the stars to refract into brilliant, unheard of colors. He later said that his entire scientific career was a meditation on that dream. It inspired his insight that reality is changed when approaching the speed of light, a central principle of the theory of relativity. Einstein believed in the power of dreams, so we might wonder, what else can dreams do? Well, René Descartes discovered the 4-step scientific method through a dream. Mary Shelley dreamt the 2 main scenes that became the famous Gothic novel Frankenstein. Niels Bohr said that a vision of electrons orbiting around a central nucleus like planets around the sun, the structure of the atom, came to him in a dream. And I love this story. Elias Howe was struggling to design a workable sewing machine. One night, he dreamt of being attacked by warriors whose spears had holes in their tips. And from that dream, he designed a sewing needle with an eye at the point. The innovation has now led to mass-produced clothing. And Beatles fans might like to know that the legendary song Yesterday came to Paul McCartney in a dream. McCartney said he woke up with the melody playing in his head. Dream dictionaries were in use as far back as ancient Mesopotamia. One called the Assyrian Dream Book was compiled by professional dream interpreters and was used by priests and royalty to divine the future and ward off nightmares. A Babylonian tablet offers these dream interpretations, and I hope that you will take heed. If you dream that you are looking to your right, your adversary will die. If you gaze to the left, it means that you will be overcome. If you bite your lower lip, it portends a blessing, while if you bite the upper lip, it means the opposite. And here's a little gem. If you dream of carrying beer in the street, your heart will be glad. That one really echoes down the centuries, don't you think? The Bible discusses dreams about 90 times, with 21 detailed accounts across both Hebrew and Christian scriptures. I'm sure you know about the aforementioned Jacob's ladder, his vision of a structure to heaven. And then we have Joseph, the son of Jacob and Rachel, who dreamt about his family bowing down to him and caused his jealous brothers to sell him into slavery, where he eventually became the dream interpreter for the Pharaoh in Egypt. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus' human father, Joseph, had a dream with specific warnings about when to flee to Egypt and when it was safe to return. In the past, dreams were understood to be a valuable resource. Many even viewed them as a way of communicating with the divine that was not available in waking life. And then there are modern-day scientists fascinated with dreams. Sigmund Freud, of course, I'm sure you've all known about him, based much of his psychological theory on dream work, using dreams to uncover repressed traumas. Carl Jung saw dreams as spontaneous, natural messages from the unconscious, tools for maintaining psychological balance and guiding personal growth. A more recent study, the research at the Institute for Advanced Studies in Lucca, Italy, have combined large-scale data with computational methods and have identified intriguing patterns in dream content. They found that dreams are more structured than they seem. The brain doesn't just replay daily life, as many once believed. Instead, the dream reshapes experiences into imaginative and sometimes surreal scenarios. Yet despite all the study, interest, and attention paid to dreams across millennia, as far as I can determine, no one had developed a practical method of dream work accessible to the lay person, to virtually anyone, until Dr. Montague Ullman developed a method further popularized by the aforementioned Jeremy Taylor, starting in the 1960s. Back in the summer of 1985, I was the co-director of our UU Camp and Conference Center, Bentonville Pines, up in the San Bernardino Mountains. Some of you have been up there. It's a wonderful place. Reverend Jeremy Taylor was scheduled to be the theme speaker for a meeting of the Pacific Southwest Institute of Religious Liberals, who were the founders of the camp. I didn't know anything about Jeremy at the time. Of course, I had dreams like everyone else, but I had never really understood their meaning or importance. Yet having a mystical bent myself, I wondered if they might have some usefulness in my life. So I attended Jeremy's talk. It was fascinating. He effortlessly wove together the personal and the political, as well as the spiritual, with inspiring stories of how underdogs triumphed by learning to understand their dreams. He told how people who were struggling with mental health issues found healing. He talked of members of warring gangs doing dream work, discovering the depth of their human connection and making lasting peace as a result. He also linked religious history and Unitarian Universalism to dream work in ways that I found captivating. Over the years, Jeremy returned to camp again and again, and I was proud to be able to eventually call him my friend. And I would never miss his lectures and the practical dream work sessions that followed. For 2 years in a row, he took part in the Bentonville Pines Religious Education Family Week. I witnessed him working with each age group, from the very youngest 4 to 7-year-old group up to senior high, helping them uncover the meaning of their dreams, gently helping them even come to terms with what could be at times frightening visions. He would tell them that young people sometimes take their dreams a little too literally. For example, they might interpret death in their dreams to mean that they should commit suicide, even though death in dreams typically means that the dreamer is going through a major transformation. Likewise, running away from a monster can mean that we don't want to face a scary situation. Over the years, groups of friends, some of whom had attended camp, joined together with me to do monthly dream work sessions. We were already good friends and wanted to meet and share our lives and our thoughts. I was a member of that group from 1992 to 2000 when I took a ministerial position in Montclair, New Jersey. Although not in its original form, that group continued until the pandemic forced it to shut down. Many of the original group had moved around the country by that time. So when we were further into the pandemic and we figured out that we could meet over Zoom, we resumed our meeting, still meeting twice a month to this day. Why? Because dreams and the sharing of them with a group of trusted people has built strong, lasting relationships. The kind that can see us through hard times and help us view our strengths and challenges in a clear light with some humor around our foibles. The sharing is an intimate act, one that can connect us with a deeper level of our spirits, connect us to the ultimate in ourselves and among ourselves, and that which is beyond. When we wonder what the heck is going on in the world, when we are seeking meaning in our lives, when we are yearning for understanding, dreams can help us find that larger truth, that fundamental meaning. Each night, we have an opportunity to tap into our own personal, private myth. We don't have to pay a toll. There is no gatekeeper. Our dreams can gift us with anything from a solution to a worrying problem to complete personal mythology. Through dreams, we can explore our own spirituality, our own path. At any moment, at any age, we can determine our call, what life is calling us to do. All of that can be revealed to us. We can be given a path to act on that call. Every one of us, everyone, has unique gifts to offer to the world, and through those gifts, the world itself can be transformed and maybe even saved. The system of dream work Jeremy Taylor developed is called projective dream work. There are no dream books, even though the Babylonians held true to them. There are no interpreters, therapists, or psychoanalysts that can tell you what your dreams mean. They can be resources, they can be useful, but only you, the dreamer, can say for certain what the dream is trying to tell you. Only the dreamer knows the truth and accuracy of the dream's meaning. How do they know? And if they know, and they know if and when they feel a wordless aha of recognition, an internal insight and confirmation. Sometimes this aha can be subtle, and sometimes it's like a flashing neon sign. Either way, it is the only thing that can tell you if you have found a meaning that is true for you. As I mentioned, Jeremy Taylor was a longtime UU minister, and it seems fitting that the dream work methodology he developed would take this approach, because just like Unitarian Universalist theology, no bishop, no pope, no priest can tell you what to believe. The individual is the highest authority, and your personal intuition is your guide. Science tells us that we all experience rapid eye movement in roughly 90-minute intervals, and that when subjects are awakened from that level of sleep, they universally report having been in the dream state. Though recent sleep labs have discovered that we also dream during other times of our sleep cycle, and not just during REM. So dreams are literally universal, crossing every boundary, be it race, culture, class, or political orientation. Dreams prove that humans are connected at the deepest biological, emotional, and psychological and spiritual levels. So engaging in dream work is a profoundly human, profoundly psycho-spiritual discipline. Jeremy Taylor preached that all dreams speak in a universal language, and importantly, they come to us in the service of health and wholeness. Now hold on a minute, you might say. Last night I had the scariest dream ever. My heart was pounding, I was breathless, even sweating. Yet it's true, even nightmares come in the service of health and wholeness. They come as nightmares because they carry an urgent message. They want to make sure that we don't ignore or forget it. And you know what? That really works. So the Cherokee people would tell their young hunters as they were heading out into the woods for an all-night vigil about a shape-shifting spirit that would come to them during the night, custom designed to take on the scariest form that each individual could imagine. The youngsters were told not to run away. If they do, their family and their village would be destroyed. Instead, they must invite the spirit to sit across the fire from them, and they must feed it. If they have the courage to do this until dawn, the spirit will bestow a gift upon them, and their family and their village will never go hungry and will be protected. Sometimes nasty, scary creatures do come to us in our dreams. These are parts of us that we have cast off from ourselves, aspects of ourselves that we have denied, repressed. They come demanding reconciliation. Jung called this the dark shadow and said whenever we deny about ourselves, we project onto others. So if someone, for example, says that a group of people are lazy, oversexed, and shiftless, they are confessing what they deny about themselves. That they, indeed, are the lazy, oversexed, and shiftless person. Jeremy Taylor would say that this type of projection is the source of all our isms: racism, sexism, homophobia, ableism, the belief that if those people would just go away, the world would somehow be a better place. However, when we can't get rid of those people, whoever they may be, anxiety rises and increasingly extreme measures are demanded. We're seeing this act out in our world today. In dream work, we recognize that we all have repressed aspects of ourselves that we project onto others. And through the dream work, we come to terms with them. And we see that we are that too. When we do that, we withdraw the projection from the other, instead acknowledging our deep, shared, common humanity. This is the way Jeremy understood the basic radical message of Christianity: love your neighbors, love your enemies. He said is a statement of psychological truth that we must learn to love our enemies because it is the only thing that works in actually bringing about change, both in ourselves and in the world. In addition to that dark shadow, Jung also talks about a bright shadow, the capable, powerful part of ourselves. We also project this out onto others. We say, oh, how wonderful, creative, smart, talented other people are, but we don't acknowledge that we are that too. As Mary Ann Williamson said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So fearfully, we may hide our light under a bushel. Yet Jeremy said that if everyone lived up to their capabilities, the world would be transformed, that the seemingly insoluble problems would be solved. The impossible to love people will get loved. So I encourage you, when you wake up in the morning, to hold your dream as if it were a precious jewel that could be worth millions. Explore all of its facets. It could change the course of history, science, or art. Or maybe heal a relationship that you treasure with yourself or another person. Dream work can be fun. It can be remarkably rewarding. But like any rigorous spiritual practice, dedication to this work for years or decades may not be an easy road to hoe. The dream group that I have been part of has dealt with some pretty rough stuff. But the group found that our authentic sharing carried us through and beyond those challenges. For us, dream work is tender, transformational work. And with love, we walk together. So may it be for all.